This is John here. I'm at one of the medieval gates of Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and I'm about to start my Camino. It's been an adventure already. It was an exhausting trip. I didn't get any sleep on the flight over here. It took me a long time in Pamplona to find the bus station, but all's well that ends well. And the lady who ran the auberge where I stayed last night is definitely insane. I think I lost my towel cross, my most prized possession, but the Camino is not about what you gain, it's about what you leave behind and how you change. So I'm looking forward to this. Yesterday, as I was crossing the Pyrenees in the bus, got a chance to look at these mountains that I'll be crossing on foot today. Got a chance to look at these mountains that I'll be crossing on foot today, and enough time to think, what the heck did I get myself into? Well, now I'm about to find out. People have been wishing me buen camino, so see you on the other side. Well, I made it. Yesterday was the adventure of crossing the Pyrenees on foot. And I have to say it was probably the greatest physical challenge in my life that I've completed successfully. I'd rank it right up there with my first and so far only marathon. This was not the distance, but it was climbing from an altitude of about 150 meters to 1,500 meters, which is about 5,000 feet. And that wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was the descent. We didn't come down all the way, but most of the way. What you see behind me is the abbey and monastery complex of Roncesvalles. The building directly behind me that's white, that is the auberge where we stayed. And there's also a hotel, there's a pilgrim's office, tourist office, stuff like that, and it houses comfortably about 300 pilgrims. Wasn't up to capacity today, so I don't know, maybe things aren't going to be quite as crowded as what they said. But yeah, okay, I told you about how hard it was crossing the Pyrenees. I didn't tell you about how rewarding it was. It was amazing. At every turn, everywhere you looked, it was just some of the most incredible beauty I've ever seen. Sheep grazing on hillsides shaped like parabolas, unbelievably steep, crowning to the top, stuff like that. Just some bare rock here and there that was just indescribable. Ground cover, fern covering, whole hills. A lot of the time we seem to be above the tree line. Yeah, because I guess there aren't evergreens here, or not too many of them. It was incredibly beautiful. If you listen right now, you hear cowbells, and those are not actually on cows. I'll show you. Those are horses wearing cowbells. I don't know what they're being raised for. I've heard that it may be for meat. They don't seem to be bred for speed or strength. but to get fat, so that's a possibility. At any rate, now I'm off. I'm in search of food and the next place to stay. My feet were killing me yesterday, but they seem to be in good enough shape today. My only other complaint is I did get a little bit of sunburn, so I'm going to be very careful about that today. Bye con Dios. Okay, I'm in the small town of Thubiri, which is an industrial town of about 400 people. It's not on anyone's tourist destination lists and doesn't really deserve to be, but it's got this bridge. It's named the Bridge of Rabies because there was a legend that if you let an animal that was infected around the bridge 3 times, it would be cured. Anyway, yesterday I did the second stage from Roncesvalles to here, Thubiri, and it was murder. This was absolutely harder than the first stage. And the reason, undoubtedly, is because I was worn out from the first stage and needed a shorter trip. First day was 25 kilometers. Yesterday was 22. But with an even steeper descent. We actually climbed down 300 meters, or about 1,000 feet, in space of 2.5 kilometers. This is how the Camino starts teaching you about faith, because there were points yesterday where with my sunburn, which definitely did get worse, I just thought I couldn't go on. But I prayed for strength, got it. And also, I've discovered that I've started doing some of the spiritual practices of the Camino, like picking up a stone and carrying it for someone, for some purpose, and putting it down on a cairn farther down the trail. Some people are carrying stones for particular causes, for 100 kilometers, or for the entire journey, or so forth. This is something I hadn't read about, hadn't known about, but it's a beautiful practice, and it is part of the, getting a relationship with God, something out of your head and into physicality. I like it. Anyway, for today, I'm not sure how far I'll go. I've got no fixed plans. If I can only go 10 kilometers before I start to feel some major complaints, I will stop at 10 kilometers. My body needs for me to treat it gently today because I've punished it a lot the last 2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you.
Muy bien. Gracias, amigo. Pamplona at the Festival of San Fermin. Yesterday was a pretty good day on the Camino. It wasn't nearly as difficult as the other days. It was a little bit flatter and a lot shorter. I only did 17 kilometers, which was a lot more reasonable considering how much my feet had been through the previous days. Anyway, I'll let you see what the festival is like here. So now you have an idea. It's wall-to-wall people, thousands and thousands of people here to watch the Encorriendo, the running of the bulls. So I'll catch up a little bit more about the Camino. I'll save battery life and try to get a glimpse of the Encorriendo. Well, it's about 1 o'clock on Saturday. This is the 6th day of my trip. I'm in Irache, Bodegas de Irache, a vineyard, and I just drank from the world famous wine fountain. There's a fountain where you pour yourself a glass of wine or fill a liter bottle full of wine. And there's also a wine museum. I'll post some pictures of this when I get a chance to. Sorry I wasn't able to make a short video this morning. I got a very late start. I didn't leave Lorca till about 8:30, but I slept very, very well. I think that was needed sleep. I had a rough day yesterday. It was hard in the morning, then I really got a second wind after I passed Puente de la Reina. Then it got really hard again with the hills afterwards because most of them were cobblestone. There were old Roman roads, 2,000 years old or more, that, well, I think they functioned a lot better as roads 2,000 years ago. Cobblestones, size of cantaloupes, it was murder, and very, very steep inclines and declines. Like I said, joyful acceptance, but some things are more challenging to be joyful about than others. And what the Camino is flowers, it's grass, it's wheat fields, it's vineyards, it's mountains, it's hills, it's cobblestones, it's paved streets, it's gravel roads, it's nice hard-packed dirt paths, it's people, it's French, it's Italians, it's Poles, it's Koreans, a surprising amount of Koreans, it's Americans, it's people smiling and greeting you, it's people saying buen camino, people answering your hola, buenos dias with a wave. It's being so angry and hurt and tired at the end of the day. It's seeing all of these bikers go by in full gear, cycling shorts, jerseys, and helmets. That was one who just whizzed by right then. I've noticed every adult on a bicycle, everyone who's past college, always wears helmet, a jersey, and cycling shorts. Nobody seems to wear street clothes unless they're a kid or a student. So that's part of the Camino too. It's friendly dogs, you know, resting in the shade, trying to escape from the sun. I haven't met an angry or vicious dog yet. It's steep hills, it's old houses, ancient buildings, it's new condominiums. So that's what the Camino is. It's many, many more things. Butterflies, crickets, ants, dog poop, horse poop. It's about 6:40 in the morning. I think this is Sunday, July 14th. I'm in Villamayor de Monjardin. Villamayor de Monjardin. And it's a beautiful, beautiful little town. I'll turn the camera around so you can see the chapel on the mountain. Hope you saw that. Anyway, I'm getting a fairly early start today. Almost everyone in the albergue today wanted to leave about 5 to 5:30. Time people actually left was between 5:30 and 6:30. There's a few stragglers left. It's interesting. Some albergues people leave later, others people leave earlier. Occasionally I find myself in an albergue where almost everyone's young. Other times it's a very good mixture of ages from, teens to the 60s. I think I've even met a couple of 70-plus-year-olds along the way. Yesterday I met I don't know his age, but I think he was over 70, a French guy who been walking from, it wasn't the Les Pouilles route, but something else similar. Arlans, I don't know. But there's these Caminos that cross France as well, which are becoming increasingly popular. And he's done his Camino 5 times, so pretty much does it once a year. Knows the way really, really well. In Barcelona, actually, no, not in Barcelona, from Barcelona, in Intiroth, there was a guy from Barcelona who's been living on the Camino for 2 years. He's gotten 6 Compostelas, and he takes 2 months to go each way from Saint-Jean to Santiago, and then, without pausing, just starts again. His address is the Camino de Santiago de Compostela. The warmth of people everywhere on this, their wisdom, their maturity, their trustworthiness, it's amazing. You don't see disputes happen. It's just like, if you could get the whole world to come on Camino de Santiago, I think you'd have world peace. So, well, I guess that's all for now. Okay, this is this morning's activity. It's called rescuing snails. So, this is the 4th snail I've rescued today. I don't know why these snails want to cross this road. This has got to be uncomfortable for them, and it is very dangerous. Yesterday I rescued a snail that was crossing the road, gave it a lift across, and there was another one that didn't make it and had become ant food. So, okay, little guy, I don't know why you want to get to the other side, but I'm going to help you. Okay, here we go. Okay, see, nothing to be afraid of. I'm a nice human, nice human. Okay, there you go. Okay, see? All happy now? Good. So, I'm providing the free snail transport service, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to get a free lift somewhere along the way too. Right, so videos, photos, very good for recording things.
We have a big camera that
Want some?
Sure, thanks. Yeah. So
take out what you
here we are taking a rest break under a small olive tree, which doesn't have a lot of shade, but every bit of shade is very, very welcome. It's only 28 degrees right now, which is about 82 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not extreme heat, but it's direct sunlight, almost no shade at all, and that's what makes it feel so extreme. Tom and Reton are surviving. Yeah, we're airing out our feet. Andrea is surviving too. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to prove the Englishmen wrong. We will make it to Viana. Okay, this is a rain shower. We haven't had one before.
Oh.
Not on the journey, but we've got one now. So, rain ponchos are out. Everyone's prepared. And actually, it feels pretty damn refreshing. Thank you, Lord. Woohoo! For him at the Jim Jam. Okay, camera off and back in the pocket. Thank you. If you need an extra pair, you can have these.
Why you don't
Seriously.
use it anymore?
No, I'm using these thin shoes now.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
you need some
Yeah, if you need, yeah, if you need an extra pair of shoes, yeah, or if you know someone who does, I'll leave them right here because I'm abandoning these. Yeah. Yeah. These killed my feet. Yesterday, I walked 30 kilometers in these, no pain at all.
Okay, that's good, but we don't need it, but thank you.
Okay, great. Buen camino. So, well, I guess I explained it all there. These thin marrows, and I'll demonstrate just how thin they are, thin and flexible. Yesterday, I walked farther and with no pain at all, and only sore, tired feet at the end. Whereas every other day, by the end of the trip, my feet had been screaming in pain. So, goodbye Merrill Moab hiking shoes, and hello again, Merrill road gloves. My roommate last night does not want to travel with me today for fear that he might end up being in the same albergue or hostel again. Apparently, I not only snore, which I knew I did, and I know that at least occasionally I do scream in the middle of the night. Apparently, I was singing last night too. Didn't know that. Maybe we were singing all day long and the musical mood just carried on. I don't know. Sorry, didn't mean to disturb you. He told me not to use any more albergues or else people would kill me. I don't think that's the case. Nobody else has ever mentioned anything to me, and this was my 7th night on the road. Most pilgrims also do carry earplugs. So, Andrea, sorry. Hope you get a great night's sleep. Take care. Buen camino. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, I think, and I'm in Logroño, just getting ready to leave. And I'll turn around so you can walk with me, and you can see Logroño too. This is the old part of town, of course. The Camino goes through the old town, the old city, in almost every city it goes through. If there's an old city and a new city, it'll go through the old city. And most of these aren't new cities at all. Maybe Tariquiegui was, but everything else has a lot of history to it. Anyway, I feel like I've made very little progress because Logroño is the end of what's called the 7th stage of a 33 stage journey. And I should be more than a quarter full by now because I've used up more than a quarter of my time. I would have gone much, much farther yesterday, but instead I only covered about 12 kilometers because I stayed in Logroño a fairly long time. I journaled a long time. Then I had been having problems making cash withdrawals. And I finally got that figured out. That situation's resolved. But by that time it was 3:30. The next town was 13 kilometers away. Oops, wait, is it still the right way? Yeah, it is. See, seashells. So this is what we look for on the Camino. Seashells and yellow arrows. Seashells, yellow arrows. I'm going the right way. So at 3:30, I was thinking, okay, maybe I can make it to the next town, which is 13 kilometers away, which with brakes will take me about 4 hours to get there, which would be 7:30. Well, I know what happened yesterday, the day before, when I got into a town at 6:30. Everything was closed up. But, no. So, finally decided to stay in Logroño. Yellow arrow. I'm going the right way. See? Anyway, I also felt very sad yesterday. And part of that was because my feet feel so good now, and I know I can travel farther. There's been so many familiar faces that have come to mean a lot to me. Camino friends. And I'm going to be outpacing them now. I can easily do 30 kilometers a day every day, I believe, as long as I get up early enough and don't linger too long in one place. I'm going to see some of them again in Santiago. Others I will never see again. The deciding factor in place to stay yesterday, there was one private albergue that I'd been the first one to go into. The parochial albergue actually was overflowing. All the beds were full and people were sleeping on 1-inch thick mats on the floor. Not appealing. The private albergue I went to, I was their first visitor today, and when I was there I just thought, this looks so lonely. If I'm going to be in an albergue, I want to be with other pilgrims. It was a great place, but it was a lonely place. Why be alone when you're in a city of 130,000 people? So I went to the municipal albergue. And yeah, there I saw Jamie and Leonardo and Gaetana. And that felt good. Except when I thought, I might never see you guys again. So that's another lesson of the Camino, is that leaving friends hurts. Even as a friend of just one day. A friend is a friend. In a way, being a pilgrim is like moving every day. You're in Logroño, then you're not. You're Logroño life, is behind. But what's ahead is still ahead. So, buen camino. Leaving for the day or having a quick snack with food they bought, and I'm going to be leaving soon. I usually don't carry much food with me except fruit, and I'd like to start off my morning routine with coffee and maybe a little snack at a they call them cafe bars. Most bars sell coffee, most cafes sell beer. There's really not much of a difference here, at least in this part of Spain. So getting a decent cup of coffee is really good for helping me start on the journey. And also the restrooms are usually a little bit better than they are in the albergue. Here, this is a 90-bed albergue in a single room, the largest room I've been in so far. And most pilgrims are male, which means that about 60 to 65 guys are using the same two toilets. Well, okay, so now you see why I want to go to a coffee shop. Anyway, so I'll be starting my way soon. Talk to you later. I think this is the 18th, it's Thursday, and I'm in Santo Domingo de la Calzada, which is a delightful little town, at least the old city is. The new city looked extremely depressed, getting really run down, stuff like that. I see that everywhere outside of the Basque provinces. I was talking with a Catalan guy in Villamayor de Monjardin, and he told me that Catalonia is doing fairly well. Basque Country and Navarre are doing very well. The rest of Spain is really sinking due to the financial crisis. They just call it la crisis, the crisis. But the inner cities, it's the opposite of urban decay in America. In America, we think of urban decay as affecting the inner cities. Here, it's the outer cities. There's the historic town centers are alive and vibrant, bustling, beautiful, as you can see. And this morning, I lost my hat. I went back to the albergue, couldn't find it. I will have to get another one, because hats are essential. La sombra is shade in Spanish. Sombrero is hat. Hat is a shade maker. That's what it's for. It's not for making you look cute. It's for protecting you. It might as well be called the heat stroke preventer. Oh, okay. Oh, one other thing you might find interesting here. This is a restaurant where I ate yesterday. I ate on the terrace. Made sort of a comical mistake. I was eating with a friend, and I ordered Menu de Pilgrim, which is a very common offering for pilgrims here. But the waitress thought that I ordered one dish extra for myself. The waitress thought it was for my friend, and that I was ordering 2 Menu de Pilgrim. So I ended up buying 2 meals. And there was a surcharge for eating outside on the terrace. So this was my only actually expensive day in Spain. Okay, that's a 1-fork restaurant. That's a 2-fork restaurant. Oh, I didn't eat there. Coming up here around the cathedral is Parador de Santo Domingo. And it's a 4-star hotel, and its restaurant sign is a 3-fork restaurant. So I didn't know anything about fork ratings on restaurants before. Now I do. Hola, peregrinos.
Hello, John.
John. Say hello to my friends in America. Hi. Okay, these are some delightful pilgrims from France that I've met. Met them at Nahara day before yesterday. And, well, we're moving on to the next town. Okay, I'll give you a quick history lesson here about Santo Domingo de la Calzada. You can see the sign here says Donde cantó la gallina después de asada. And there's a lot of symbols here. I kept seeing the statue of an old man wearing Franciscan robes and with 2 chickens beside him and a staff. Old man's staff, 2 chickens. Old man's staff, 2 chickens. In the garden of the albergue where we are, there's a cage with 2 chickens. In the cathedral, high up in a wall, there's a little chamber set with a lighted cage that has 2 chickens. And in the cathedral, there's lots of statues of the monk with his staff and 2 chickens. What's going on here? Well, this is Santo Domingo de la Calzada. That's the saint, and he's credited with a miracle. Apparently he created the first pilgrim hostel and dug a well, did everything he can to be hospitable to pilgrims. He really kind of got the Camino started in terms of lodging for pilgrims. And there was a pilgrim family going to Santiago, teenage boy and teenage girl in the town where they passed through and spent the night. She came on to the boy. He, rejected her advances And so she decided to get revenge and put a large silver plate in his backpack and reported the theft to the mayor. The boy lagged behind his parents. He was caught, sentenced to death, and hanged. And when the parents found he was missing, they rushed back and saw him dead on the gallows and protested his innocence. And the mayor said, "No, he did wrong. He's dead. He's as dead as these 2 chickens on my plate." The parents then had a miracle happen from the aid of Santo Domingo. The chickens on the plate came back to life. The boy came back to life as well. And that's the story of Santo Domingo and the 2 chickens. Okay, well, another Camino lesson is don't hold on to things. I think I said that the first day here when I thought I had lost my towel. So that deer stick cost me all of €3. I should get one at another town. What I really needed to go back to town for was water. I had none. The fountain that you can see over, well, you can't see it here, but you can see those trees. There was an outdoor fountain there, and it was broken. So I had to go back to town and get more water. I also looked for my staff, couldn't find it. My hat, I'd given up on already. And I may not need it. This is a quick dry towel, and it may actually work better for me. So, I don't know. Maybe I look like a terrorist or something, I don't know. But, here we are. Camino is back on paths. We're leaving the city. And I kind of do wish I had my staff. Okay, as everyone says here, buen camino. This is what I call the Paradise Alberga. I'll show you. Notice that. Okay, flags of the whole world. And the P is broken off there, but it says piscina. Piscina means swimming pool. So yeah, enjoyed the swimming pool yesterday and tried to get some sun on some other parts of my body other than my a small section of the middle of my legs around my knees and my forearms. You also get sun on your face, try to avoid that. But let's just say the Camino tan is not really sexy, so I was trying to even it out a little bit. Nice, this was the Paradise Albergue. Hola. Today's mission is to go in about another 22 kilometers, and in the process we will cross 3 mountains. I was talking to Andrea, my Italian friend. Oh yeah, we've been together the last 2 albergues, and night before last, he was in the bunk underneath mine. He said, "It's okay now, I've got earplugs." Anyway, he mentioned the 3 mountains we're crossing today. Mountains? Mountains? No, Andrea, no mountains. They'll just be flat grand with lots of lakes and trees and shade and birds. Yeah, and cool temperatures. So, talk to you later. Okay, as you can see, I got the hat problem solved. So it's interesting. On the Camino, little things mean a lot. Your road kind of shrinks. It's as big as the stage that you're walking, or maybe the one beyond that. And your home is your backpack. You take it with you like a snail. Sometimes you feel like you're moving like a snail. Sometimes you are moving like a snail. Anyway, yes, I like this hat a lot better. I was joking when I said 5 grams, but it really doesn't weigh much more than that. It's a straw hat. Very simple. I might, it doesn't have quite as wide a brim as what I've been wearing, so I might put on my San Fermin neckerchief from Pamplona to protect my neck. But I like it a lot. And this path that I'm walking today is much more beautiful than yesterday. The last couple days have actually been kind of dreary. It's been endless wheat fields. Now you can see some wheat, but they're bordered by trees. Trees are wonderful. We've seen trees in the distance the last couple of days on the Camino, but we haven't been walking by trees, under trees, through trees. And trees are important because trees provide shade. Shade is good. We like shade. So every hour and a half, I've been following a practice that's recommended. I've heard it from several sources. You know, take off, sit in shade, take off your shoes and socks. If possible, elevate your feet and rest a few minutes. Put them back on and go back on your way. And I think it really helps, but it's really difficult to get yourself to do that and sit in the hot sun when there's not a bit of shade around. One more reason why I'm planning on biking most of the Meseta, because from everything I can find out, there are almost no trees there at all. So, give you another shot of this beautiful trail ahead. Yeah, I'll be climbing 400 meters today, which is about 1,300 vertical feet. It will be hard, but from what I experienced in the Pyrenees and elsewhere on the Camino, it's not no pain, no gain, but you are rewarded for your efforts. Climb up and you will be very glad you did. There's a Latin saying, or derived from Latin, for the Camino, Utrea y sustea. That means onward and upward. So here I'm going Utrea y sustea. Okay, this is a little bit different trail than usual. Today I'm hiking with my friends Andrea and Nick, and instead of the broad road, we decided to go on a narrow path because it's close to trees. And trees are good. The broad road is a little bit far from the trees, a little bit too far for the shade to extend. So there's weeds here that tickle our legs, but that's okay. Because there's shade. And shade is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Or at least to survive the Santiago.
Bah, tout le monde, je crois.
Okay. I'm a terrible goalie. Saturday the 20th. So it's been 2 weeks since I left the US. This is, I think, my 13th day trekking in Spain, or my 12th day. Let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Okay, yeah, my 13th day, the beginning of my 13th day. And behind me you see San Juan de Ortega Church, and attached to that was the former monastery, which is now the parish-run albergue. So I've known about the parochial albergues since I started here. Hadn't stayed at one yet till now, and I don't think I'll stay at one again. The private albergues are far nicer. Generally, there's a ranking. Private albergues usually very nice. The parochial albergues are usually, well, the municipal albergues are basic but comfortable. The parochial albergues are massively overcrowded. One problem most of the albergues have is there's no toilet paper in the restrooms, so you bring your own. Yeah, it's a little bit different. That's not a problem in the private albergues. Man, the Paradise albergue I stayed in 2 nights ago. Never will forget that. Probably won't see something quite like that again. But in Burgos, I'm planning on spending a night in a hotel. I feel like it's time to take a short break from albergue life, and so forth. Clock is going to strike 7 behind me in the bell tower there, and so I'm on my way to Burgos now. I may spend more than a night in Burgos. Burgos is a fascinating city. Need to read up on it a little bit. I know there's a lot to see and do there. It's also in Burgos that I want to rent a bike to go at least to León, and if possible as far as Astorga, because I do not want to walk the Meseta. And I have learned by talking to many other people here that they don't want to walk the Meseta. A lot of people just take the bus from Burgos to León or Astorga. So walking a valid Camino, or doing a valid Camino, does not necessarily mean walking. It can be hiking, it can be horseback, it can be a combination. And actually, if walking, it only has to be 100 kilometers from Santiago. If biking, it does have to be 200 kilometers. So, no, it's not cheating. Okay, this is the beginning of a new part of my journey, because I just said goodbye to Nick. I wanted to visit some of the archaeological memorials and visit Atapuerca. Nick was inspired by an American that he met yesterday, Zane Pettibone, who is running the Camino in flip-flops. As an intention for his sister's healing, I believe. And Nick was incredibly inspired by this and is trying to exert himself as hard as possible on the Camino now. And I told him, I understand that. I hope he's going to be very careful. The Camino is a difficult path, and yeah, I love him. He needs to take care of himself. And I think I've pretty much said goodbye to everyone I've been walking with, talking with, and getting to know, getting to love over the last almost 2 weeks. So it's a new phase. I'm going to have a hotel tonight in Burgos, and from then on I may leave Burgos quite late. I may even stay there a second night, depending. an actual rest day, which is recommended for caminantes. But then I'm going to continue by bike, and I may not see any of these people again. So it's a little bit sad. I've expressed this sentiment before, but the joy of meeting people, of talking with them, of getting to know each other, laughing together. Oh man, Pascal last night sat at our table, and oh man, I don't know if there's anybody that I've laughed so hard with. Just it was like we both had the giggles, you know, for an hour and a half of just talking about life, the universe, religion, spirituality. This old man, 62, it's his fourth Camino. Such a kindred spirit. Wow. I told him that at 62, I hope I have half of his zeal and love of life that he does. And I ate blood sausage for the first time. Yes, John, the near vegetarian. I haven't been trying to stick to any particular diet on Camino. Yeah. Damn, it was good. In general, I've been following the recommended route in the guidebook, usually the most direct one that doesn't have unnecessary amounts of asphalt. But this time, there's been several alternate routes to Burgos. The map recommended, the book also described a scenic route besides the most direct route. Only 400 meters longer, and yeah, I can already tell it's going to be worth it. So, after ugly factories and coal slag heaps and quarries and the airport, I'm looking at mats of incredible flowers floating in this river, and we'll be following this path on into Burgos along the river. So, see you soon. This is Monday, I'm not sure what day it is, I guess it's the 22nd, and what you see behind me is the Arch of Santa Maria, I believe. At any rate, this is the bridge of Santa Maria, and it's where I was supposed to come into Burgos 2 days ago, but I got a little bit lost. I came in on the bridge of San Pedro instead, and it took me a little while to get my bearings, but once I did, well, I think you can see why it's easy to fall in love with Burgos. Burgos is beautiful. I've been here 2 nights. Yesterday ended up being sort of a rest day. Actually more of a tourist day. I saw the cathedral and the Museum of Human Evolution, Museo de Evolución Humana. It's close to Burgos that the Atapuerca discoveries were made. It's interesting. The museum, the cathedral was great, but it was also a little bit too much. And I don't really know what it means to be a pilgrim, but it is something very different to be than being a tourist. It's a lot more like being a traveler, like in that movie The Beach. And in the cathedral, just so many styles through so many centuries, so many works of art. To see it properly would take 3 days or so, and just, yeah. I think I enjoyed the exterior more. And masterpieces everywhere, but it's just too much. And in the museum, yeah, that was a lot too. It's just like, it's better to sit outside in a park like this, watch the people, talk to the people, and now, full pilgrim mode again. Back on the Camino. Hi. Well, here I am on the Meseta, and although it's relatively flat, there still are a lot of hills here. And going uphill, I'm pushing the bike. I've adjusted it, I've raised the seat several times. Maybe I still need to do more, but no. This is actually quite better than I thought. There's nice trees here. You can see actual waves in the wheat, and the wheat's in the wheat there. So, there are a few hills here. This is the last hill. It's a lot funner coming down than going up. And one before that was much taller, much wilder a decline. That was windmills. There's circles and rows of windmills all over here. So, I think there is a downhill after this, then it should be mostly flat to a town called Castro Carris, which I want to get to today. I actually want to get farther than that. The Camino is generally divided in steps or stages, and usually I've been doing about 1 stage a day. I had been hoping to do about 1 1/4 by foot, and to Astorga I've been hoping to actually do 3 by bike. Staying in Burgos another night definitely put a cramp there. I may actually have to stop biking before then, grab the bus to Astorga. But man, it is beautiful. It's desolate, kind of like the desert, but it's got a beauty of its own, kind of like the desert. And I was talking with Jesus Simon, Caminante, who told me there will be these moments on the Camino. Watch for these moments. Pay attention to these moments. And I'm seeing these moments here. Well, this morning I'm reporting from Castro Carris, which is absolutely amazing. It's as beautiful as Villa Mayor de Mojardin, but perhaps even more beautiful. Take a look. Hope you saw that. Like Villamayor, there's the ruins of a castle on top of a hill. Actually, this is a real castle. I think it was just a chapel at Villamayor de Manjardín. And I'm in a campground here. This is my bungalow. Which I'll be sorry to leave. And here's a view of the rest of the campground. Very nice facilities here. Was able to wash and dry my clothes for the first time in about 4 days. Hadn't 3 days at least. Oddly enough, there weren't any in the hotel, and the coin laundries were closed on Sunday, and I didn't think of it till too late on Saturday, and well, all that. So I've been carrying around a lot of dirty clothes and a lot of sort of clean clothes that, you know, got dirty because they didn't dry well and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just, things get down to basics, you know, on the Camino. So anyway, I'm going to miss this place. This is a wonderful, wonderful place to spend the night. I was the only one in the cabin. I've noticed that the albergues that are off the beaten track get very little traffic from pilgrims. This time I didn't mind being alone. It was a gentle transition back to the world of albergues. So tonight I'll probably be in a room with 50 other people, and you know, talking until lights out and all that stuff. Okay, bicycle. Well, it didn't occur to me until actually towards the end of the day yesterday that I'd never done any trail riding before in my life. So this was new. My butt is extremely sore. I covered about 45 kilometers yesterday, leaving Burgos at about 12:30 and going very slowly, making tons of stops. I'm really hoping to cover about 75 kilometers today, and it's 7:15, so let's get going. It is pretty desolate. He gives an alternate route, which I would be on, except that I think this is definitely going to be faster for me. I really want to get to Sahagún today. If I don't, I'll have to take the bus in order to get to Astorga in time to get to Santiago. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather keep everything under human power. So that's why I'm here. Okay, I didn't quite make it to Sahagún yesterday, but I did end up covering about 80 kilometers. I made about 76 kilometers forward progress because I did get lost a couple of times. Had to backtrack just a little bit. I'm in this town. I forgot its name, something like that. It's a population of 30, but a really nice albergue, as you can see. Without getting lost, I need to get 66 in today to get to León, and I would like to get to León as early as possible to end the torture of trail riding. Well, the ride into Sahagún was actually really nice. It was mostly coasting downhill all the way, so that was great. The only thing is, as soon as I started having to pedal uphill even the slightest bit, in spite of how much I've raised the seat and stuff like that, I can feel it in my knee. I don't think my knee is injured at all right now, but I think it will be if I push it. So I want to take the next 2 days as rest days. Going to take the bus to León, and after that, tomorrow the bus to Astorga. Here I am with some other people waiting for the bus. And there's one little problem, and that is the bus is more than an hour late already. So, is it coming or not? And I'm sitting in front of the cathedral, which hasn't opened yet. A few pilgrims and tourists are gathering around, getting ready for it to open. It's a really beautiful building. And it's not as over the top, crazy built as say the cathedral in Burgos, which was wild. This one seems a little bit more comfortable, not quite as frenetic with 6 or 7 centuries of work done on it. I guess I'm exaggerating. That was like 4 or 5 centuries on Burgos Cathedral. But anyway, I've been thinking about the meaning of pilgrimage. What is a pilgrim? What is spirituality? I'm in kind of an interesting position. I'm on a Christian pilgrimage, in which in many ways most people probably wouldn't consider me a Christian. The fact is that the vast majority of people here are not here for religious reasons. It may be personal adventure. It may be just something to cross off their bucket list. It may be time of self-exploration. All of these, combinations of these. And I had these thoughts that I would be doing all sorts of spiritual exercises along the way. I'd be reading several verses from the Gospel of Thomas every day, meditating before I set out, and all of this stuff. It doesn't happen like that. As a pilgrim, you are very, very busy, and when you're not in motion, trying to get out the door before the albergue closes, or pack or find out where was that one thing that you thought you knew where it was, but now you can't find it. You really don't think about meditating or reading scripture or stuff like that really that much. So the meditation comes in other ways. It's feeling the earth under your feet while you're walking, whether it hurts or not. Talking to other pilgrims, the way hearts touch, and things like that. And I thought I'd be doing a lot of journaling. I have been keeping a journal, but it's been more of a diary till now. A list of things that I saw, people I've talked to, and so forth. I haven't really done deep journaling until last night, because fortunately this albergue had a very liberal policy about how late you can come in. So I was journaling, reflecting on the Gospel of Thomas. Jesus said, "Be passers-by." And to me, that's the essence of pilgrimage. And that's largely the essence of life. It doesn't mean we don't form attachments, we don't fall in love. It means that every moment is here for an instant, then it's gone. You might picture time as a river, or it might even be better to picture yourself as the river. and you flow over these points in time and these points in space, and they'll never occur again. You're a passerby, and that awareness of the present moment, I think it's easier to touch on pilgrimage. You're aware of the fact that you're not going to see these things again. You're going to see them for the first time now, and so forth. But it's a good lesson, I think, to take from the pilgrimage into home, because all of life is a pilgrimage, and all of these moments are things that we experience only once and never have experienced before. So, to be a passerby, to be a pilgrim, I think that's what I'm getting from my spirituality for this pilgrimage, this Camino, and maybe something more lasting.
The game seems to be to come as close to that thing hanging from the arch as possible without touching it. I love it.
Okay, it's about 6:10, 6:12 in the morning, and I am walking. I'm walking again. Very excited about it. My feet feel good. My knees feel good. I'm rested. I haven't walked on the Camino for 5 days. So I had a day of rest in Leon. In Burgos. I don't know why I confuse these cities. Day of rest in Burgos, then 2 days of biking to Sahagún. Then I rested in Leon, and then I took the train to Astorga. Did a little bit of sightseeing in both those places. But my feet are in good condition. I feel strong, and I'm hoping to get in good 28 kilometers, 20 to 30 kilometers. I want to go to the last town before Cruz de Ferro, the Iron Cross, which is one of the most important landmarks along the way. And it's there where pilgrims often throw their stones that they've been carrying as symbolic prayers. And I've got 4 stones that I've been carrying a long time. 3 of which I will throw down there, and 1 more which I want to carry farther. I'll put down in Santiago. Whoa, look at that. You can see it's dark. It's still dark. John is walking. It's still dark. Yeah, I am so happy to be able to start when it's this dark. Astoria has recreated a Celtiberian village and a Roman encampment right next to them. I've got to say the Celtic village looks a lot better, a lot more realistic and so forth. The Romans, yeah, they're trying. I'm about 10 kilometers outside of Astorga now, and things have changed quite a bit from the Meseta. We've been climbing. We continue to climb till we get to 1,505 meters at Cruz de Ferro tomorrow. But for the most part, it's a gradual climb. This landscape reminds me very much of Texas. Central Texas, around Austin Hill Country. Not a whole lot of trees yet. You can see a lot in the distance though. And this is the road ahead of me. 2.5 weeks ago, this would have made me cry. And now, this is the road, the way, and I love it. This is wonderful. I feel so privileged, so happy to be here, so happy to meet all of the people that I've met, so happy to see all of the things I've seen and experienced all the things I've experienced. That includes the sore feet, you know, the complaining knees, the periods of wondering, you know, whether I could do this. Was it a mistake or not? Those faded pretty quickly at the beginning though. I'm loving this.
I remember the sound. If you don't remember downtown, I remember the truth. A warm December with you, but I don't have to make this mistake, and I don't have to stay this way.
Good God. Well, I'm off to a much later start today. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I was in the back room of the albergue. There's a house in the back with 11 mattresses on the floor. Nice place, but most of my roommates stayed out late drinking and talking and stuff like that. Made a lot of noise when they came in. It took me a long time to get to sleep. And I had been hoping getting an early start, beating most of the pilgrims out and stuff like that, like I did yesterday. But they got the early start, and I wanted actually to leave after them today. Because when I get to Cruz de Ferro, I really want to enjoy silence and to be alone as much as possible. Although I know there'll be many other pilgrims there, but to me it seems maybe one of the most sacred spaces on the Camino, and I want to make the most of it. So getting a late start today is not at all bad. And yeah, my roommates are fun and really great people, but yeah, a little bit noisy last night and this morning. And this was really a wonderful albergue. This is actually a yoga ashram that This an albergue, houses I don't know how many people on the top floor here, and the back house 11. And so think of it as an ashram that serves beer, wine, and meat. How cool is that? Hi, I'm in Ponferrada, which is a pretty big city, about 62,000 here, and had about a 28-kilometer trip yesterday up to the highest point of the Camino, which was Cruz de Ferro, and Cruz de Ferro was beautiful. I had a really good time there, a very nice spiritual pause. And after Cruz de Ferro, there's another slight climb, and then you climb down a full kilometer, almost 950 meters. This was probably actually the most technically demanding part of the entire Camino. Unlike the first week for me, this was not too bad. Don't want to go 28 kilometers today. Ease up a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely in a lot better shape, and I'm definitely wearing a lot better shoes than I was at the beginning. Yeah. There you go. Merrill's for the win.
It's Tuesday the 30th, and I'm hiking towards Compostela, coming down the mountain from Ortebeiro. I'm not quite sure how to say it. Had an enjoyable morning hiking with Christian and Camino, Austrian and a German from Dresden. But oddly enough, I want to go faster than they do today. This is the first time when I've been hiking with younger people who have been going too slow for my taste. I would like, ideally, to get past Compostela today. But the next albergue past that is about 13 kilometers. So I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. Still 9 more kilometers to Compostela. Probably will end up spending the night there. Anyway, this is Galicia. Galicia in Spanish. Still not quite sure how they say it in Galician. Beautiful. Hi, it's about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. I left Compostela at about 7. It is a beautiful day. It usually has been. There's only been, I think, 2 days I've actually had gotten rained on. One day that was 4 times. Just want to show you this. That mountain, I've taken a lot of pictures of. It's dominated the landscape for most of the last 24 hours. That's what it's like here. This is Wednesday, July 31st. I'm 125 kilometers from Santiago. Friday, I think. Or is it Saturday? I think it's Friday. I'm not sure. I know it's September 2nd, and it's a beautiful day, although there was a lot of rain this morning. Only lasted about 40 minutes, maybe not even that long. It's turned out to be beautiful. Take a look at this. I didn't make a video yesterday because I'm running out of space. I have to keep videos short. And I'll probably be deleting some. Won't use them all in the video anyway. But I just want to share this with you for a few minutes. This is walking on the way in silence.
Okay, here I am in Compostela, and I am eating tacos, also known as football, with my friend Christoph from the Netherlands. I never thought I would do this, but it is amazing. It's great. Christoph agreed.